Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to some more Destiny Rise of Iron. So, today we're going to be looking at the Thorn once again. By the title of this video, you're like, what is he going to talk about? but, no, for real. So, this video is basically, just going to be on the topic of Thorn. Why, Thorn is good. And yeah, so the recent thing that's been that people have been talking about is Thorn because it's so recent and people are getting it, finding it, but people have been basically crapping on it, and I'm kind of like, why? Thorn's really good. So basically, Thorn is good, and here's why. So I wanted to make this video just because people have been crapping on it, saying Thorn's not good, and I don't know. I feel like people are misunderstanding it. So there's three reasons why I think people misunderstand the Thorn. So one reason could be its stability. So if you look at the Palindrome, this is the Palindrome's stats. You see stability. It's kind of like a staircase, but upside down. And then rate of fire is so low, but it doesn't really matter. So has rifled. So basically you look at this and it's like, oh, so everything that's green is good about the Palindrome. What's better than the Thorn? And then everything that's red, everything's worse, right? So people look at it and go, it doesn't have a god rule, right? And you look at this and you're like, it's not a Palindrome rule. It doesn't have the upside down staircase. It's basically this gun that doesn't have enough stability. Now that could be one reason, but and people probably hate that you can choose between stability and range, and obviously you choose range. But I don't know, I find it, silly that people think it has to be like a Palindrome in order to be good. Like, why does that need to be a factor in the Thorn? Now that's the first reason why I think people misunderstand it. That could be the main reason, but the other reason I think people misunderstand it is because they look at this perk and be like, that's gonna melt people, right? It doesn't. It doesn't. Like, Mark of the Devourer, rounds pierce targets and cause lingering damage over time. It's not supposed to be major damage. I get it. Thorn was meant for this main perk, and I was like, I kept thinking before Rise of Iron came out, how is Bungie gonna counter this and make it so Thorn isn't overpowered anymore? They did a nerf beforehand, so Mark of the Devourer wouldn't do so much damage, and honestly, they did a great job. They did a great job, fixing this so it doesn't do that much damage. And now it does ticks, small little ticks. And that's the second reason why I think people don't like using it, or why they think it's bad. And the third reason is that, so see, it has, like the impact's pretty, like the impact, range, and stability are better on a Palindrome. And this is the third reason why I think it doesn't 2-tap people or 3-tap easily. It's 4 shots. Like it's 4 shots to the body if you get body shots. It's 3 shots if it's a headshot. Now with the Palindrome, it's 3 shots if it's a body shot, and 2 if it's a headshot. So those are 3 reasons why I think people misunderstand it. Now we're gonna play some Supremacy, just to see why I think it's good. Now, people misunderstand a lot of stuff about Thorn. They think, oh, it's not a Palindrome rule. You choose between different things. That's not how it should work. And, I don't get it. And then the main perk on it, people misunderstand that too. It's all about misunderstanding the weapon. You think you're supposed to get this certain grip on the weapon. You think it's supposed to be the best thing in the game. But you gotta realize that every exotic is not gonna be good. Or every exotic is not gonna be how you want it to be. I don't see the problem with people thinking oh, Thorn's garbage, but when I use it, I have fun with it. I have so much fun with it, and I don't get it. I take Vostov, you have so many perks to choose from. And it's insane. In Crucible, no joke. Like, you can choose between so many perks, and it's crazy. Thorn, you get two choices. You get Send It or Perfect Balance. Like, but, I don't know. I feel like people misunderstanding a gun is probably the most common thing in Destiny. Like, you can look at, say, an IS Luna, and obviously if it doesn't have rangefinder, it's garbage, or it's okay. If it has, like, Weapon Chamber or rangefinder, and doesn't have rifled, then people are like, oh, well, it's okay. It's not perfect, but it's okay. Like, people misunderstand weapons all the time. It's stupid. Like, I don't know what people's deal is with misunderstanding weapons nowadays, but it happens so often that we don't realize, like, you know, these weapons could be fun in Crucible. Like this sidearm, it has max stability, almost max range. I think it has max range. I can't really tell. I think it almost has max range, or max reload, sorry. But I bet people misunderstood this weapon at first too, and then people started using it and realized this thing is godly. All people have different opinions on weapons. It really depends on how you use it in Crucible, how much fun you have with the gun, and yeah. In year one, I never used Thorn for the burn. I never cared about the range, stability, etc. I used it. When I got it, I was so happy. It was such a cool looking weapon, and people used it for the burn, which I don't understand, because it's a hand cannon. It's supposed to look cool and do decent in Crucible. It's not supposed to be perfect. Like, if that's why you think it's bad, if you think it's bad because of the burn not doing enough damage, or you know, it not being good against shotguns, it doesn't matter. Like, honestly, I'm just saying, like, this is the same thing with people not liking Clash. Like, I did a rant on that, and I think I made some good points, and this is the same thing. Like, people saying Thorn's bad, but saying, like, I like it. It's really silly, and I think people need to stop misunderstanding a weapon. People need to stop misunderstanding everything in Destiny, because, you know, people have different opinions, right? People have different opinions, and they think my opinion is better than yours. Not always. Not always. Sometimes, like, you know, you look at something differently than another. So, saying Clash is bad and Control is better, that doesn't make you better. That doesn't make your opinion any more different than mine. Like, I know, like, rants are kind of stupid, but when I make them serious. Like, I think about this seriously, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make a good point on this. I'm gonna discuss this how I want to. And sure, people can slide and use a shotgun like that, but as long as you're having fun with the gun, you shouldn't have a problem. Like, just because Thorn had a small nerf on the burn, which I don't really care about, I'm glad they did it, and just because, you know, there's not enough stability, or it's not a palindrome rule, it's not an IS Luna rule, or because, you know, you don't get the perks you want, it doesn't matter. It's just a hand cannon. I think I made a lot of good points, because I said I didn't like objective play in Crucible. I did not like that. I did not at all. It was so clustered, and Clash was just a simple Slayer game mode. And then with Supremacy's fine, right? But Thorn, if you're comparing things to a weapon and saying, oh, Thorn sucks just because it doesn't have certain things you want, or the burn got nerfed, saying something like that doesn't make you right. But I mean, you could say that about a normal shotgun, right? Shotguns, you have to be very specific about. Like, you have to get the right rolls, you have to get aggressive ballistics, or rifled barrel, reinforced barrel, or all this crap. Just like in general, perks are... People are so picky with perks. Like, I don't know how I feel about people's opinions nowadays with Destiny. It's just so... It's so varietized. Like, it can be... It comes in different varieties, you know? Like, people can be like, oh... I have a shotgun that has, like, I don't know, terrible rolls, but still find it good? Like, I don't know. I can't this is probably gonna be one of my last rant videos until like something new pops in my head, like, oh well, you know, I gotta talk about this at some point, but I don't know. And that guy was really low, but Thorn isn't bad. That's the moral of this little rant. Thorn is not bad. Thorn's pretty good. It's fun to use in Crucible. You don't need some burn to be good with it. You don't need stability, and you don't need a palindrome roll, is what I'm saying. You don't need some stupid perk to make a gun better all the time. Sometimes all it takes is just having fun with a gun. I mean, there's weapons that I use that people don't find fun to use, or don't find like it's perfect to use, and I still use it. Like, I think, trying to remember, usually I use a lot of guns, and people find it weird that I would use those and call it trash, and I'm just like, okay. Well, like that, okay, when someone brought up Thorn, what was it, last night, I got really, really defensive because I'm like, Thorn isn't bad, and people, everyone in that little discussion said Thorn was garbage. Everyone. I'm not kidding you. And I'm just like, I was questioning it. I didn't want to ask. I didn't want to ask what was so bad about the weapon. But I figured there was a couple of there was like a ton of reasons why people thought Thorn was bad, and I don't know, I find the weapon fun to use.
Heavy ammo available.
Like, I'd use this weapon in Trials even. I'd use it in Trials and I wouldn't care. So, I don't know. This whole game is just based on opinion most of the time. But, like, as soon as this shotgun meta ends, and it's gonna end eventually, probably before the end of the year maybe. See, this guy's using Thorn, he's having fun with it. Because he can easily get outplayed by a shotgun, you know? It's weird. It's a weird topic to discuss, but Thorn is good. That's all I'm saying. I don't like know why people think Thorn is super bad besides the reasons I mentioned. If there's any other reasons that you think Thorn is bad, leave a comment. Tell me why you think Thorn is bad, and I'll probably counter-argue it, because you just can't call you can't call a weapon bad in general unless it's like terrible rolls. Like, Thorn is good. Thorn is good. That's all I have to say. If I can spawn, thank you. But Thorn looks good. Thorn is fun to play with. I don't know. I mean, people got all hyped for Thorn coming back, and then as soon as they release one patch for it that negates the burn a little bit, or a lot, whatever, they get all mad about it, like, oh, now it's garbage because a stupid burn got nerfed. Who cares? It's a hand cannon. It's not meant to destroy players in Crucible. I think, truly, I don't think any gun should be overpowered. I think every gun should have its own little balance. Bungie needs to realize that there needs to be a difference in, like, PvE and PvP weapons. Like, I was hoping Thorn could be used in PvP, but, I mean PvE, but, I don't know. I'm gonna chase this guy down. But I hope you get the point that I'm making, that you can call Thorn bad, you can call it trash, but I'll find a counter argument to it, because there's a counter argument to every weapon. There's an opinion on every weapon. Everyone has their own opinion. It's all opinion based. I'm pretty sure it's all opinion based. If it's not, that'd be silly. But I don't know. I feel like every time someone just questions something, like when someone says something like something is bad, I need to make like just a topic on it and just, I don't know. But basically, if you just like hand cannons in general, don't matter what the role is, then you'll probably like Thorn. That's my opinion. I don't know. You can't call a weapon bad unless it's really, really like the perks can't work in Crucible. It's a weird thing to describe because most perks on a weapon vary, so I can't really describe what you would call bad. I didn't know if that grenade was ours, but yeah. Alright, I'm popping 3 coins. But yeah, so, I don't know. What are your thoughts on the Thorn? I'd like to know. Because, I don't know, it's just, it's a hard topic to go over. This is why I wanted to make a video on it, just to discuss it. Of course, shotgun. But yeah, so, I don't know, I feel like Thorn will make a comeback even without the stupid burn that everyone loves to death. It'll make a comeback when this meta ends. I don't know. I feel like Thorn is good either way. I just like using it. I have fun with it. As long as you have fun with the weapon, that's all that matters, right? But yeah, so I don't know. Give me your thoughts in the comments. I'd like to know. But yeah, so moral of the story is Thorn isn't bad. It's just if you liked it for the burn, sorry. If how do I phrase this? I think people liked it for the burn mostly, but if you just wanted it to have perfect rolls like a pound drum, sorry about that too. I just got a Matador. Oh boy. See, now people are gonna get salty at me for this being a Thorn video and discussing why it's good for me anyway. And if I get a Matador with God rolls, I'm literally gonna describe to you what a good roll looks like. So, here's a good example of a God roll, kind of. I'd consider this a God roll, actually. It's not bad. It's got aggressive. It's got rangefinder. I mean, that's a God roll. That one's not godly, but like, it's good. Like, if you were to put lightweight on and this, it wouldn't be good. So, I don't know how to describe a bad roll, I guess. Look at this roll, for example. This right here, this is a PvE roll. This is not a PvP roll. It doesn't feel like a PvE gun. This is a PvP roll. See, rolls vary. It's weird. And of course, the shotgun, you know, I think it's pretty good. So, yeah. That Matador is literally going to kill the whole point of the video, but, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like. It helps out a lot, and, yeah, I'll see you guys